welcome to the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast. I'm your host, Victoria L. Johnson. I'm here with LAYA. I've been jamming to her song, Sailor Moon, for the longest and was super excited when I saw Keke Palmer singing it. We'll get into that later. Hey, LAYA. How are you?
Hey, guys. Hey, everybody. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Awesome. So glad to be here.
I'm happy to have you here. Like I said, I've been listening to that song for a while. I actually have like a Sailor Moon playlist on Spotify with like all songs that like have some kind of Sailor Moon things in it. Like I have Dear Silas's song on there. I don't know if you've heard of him. And like have your song on there. So like I'm just like just been jamming out to all these songs lately.
Awesome. So cool. I'm so flattered.
Definitely, yeah. It's a great song. So I appreciate you making it. But before we get into that, I asked all guests, what's your first memory of watching Sailor Moon?
Early in the morning, like before school, like before Pokemon would come on, because I remember when Pokemon was like really cool at a time, that came on like really early in the morning. So it would be like just really early, and I think I really didn't get into Sailor Moon until like later in my years. Like when I was a kid, like it really was just like one of those early morning cartoons that like were always kind of a blur. Like it was like lit, but it was a blur. But yeah, I definitely got more into it as I got older. So, but first memories is like super early in the morning when I'm not ready to wake up.
Yeah, I totally get that. I remember, I think like I was definitely into it when I was younger, but it like just suddenly stopped airing, and I think it wasn't until later where I was like, wait, what was that show that I really liked? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What was that for you? Like, when did you come back to it?
Sheesh. I would say not that long ago. I'm 31, so I was like in my 20s. Like when it wasn't like I haven't been like super Sailor Mooned out like forever. Like I would say like it was like somewhere like in my mid to like late 20s that like I got just invested again. Like I don't remember what it was. It might have been like a piece of merch or something that I saw, and I was like, holy shit. Like literally just like what you said, like what was that show? Like, oh my God, like let me get back into that. Like this is so cool. And then I just was like, yeah, let me like go back and watch it. And I remember struggling at first because I couldn't find where to watch it, and then I discovered it was on Hulu. So then I just went back and like watched like as much as I possibly could, because there's so much of it. But I definitely watched like I feel as though I've met at least every Sailor Guardian. I was at least able to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a significant amount. That's at least 3 out of 5 seasons.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I think it was. Yeah. I think it was. I think I got to about like season 4.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah. And then I think after that, I was like exhausted a little bit. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Understandable. Yeah, it's hard for me to watch longer animes now, because like that same reason I'm just like, it's hard enough to get through 25 episodes. Like I don't know if I could do another 200 episodes. The only thing that helps with Sailor Moon is I've seen it, so sometimes I can just put it on in the background.
Yeah. And also you get invested after just a certain point, like in the story, and it's like I kind of do want to see where it ends up going. And so it's a lot, but it's just so Sailor Moon is so aesthetically pleasing that, or at least I don't know, maybe to me just because I'm a girl, I don't know if it's just a girl thing, but it's so aesthetically pleasing that it was like I was at least able to swiftly make it through like the first like 4 seasons.
Yeah, no, it is very aesthetically pleasing. I feel like, we've had some men on the show, so I feel like, it's a little bit of both, but
okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally get that. And I was wondering that if it was around the same time it caught on Hulu in 2014, because it seemed like, I'm not great at math, but I feel like that sounds about right. Because I think like that's when they started kind of like re-releasing merch, kind of like in anticipation for this re-release.
Yeah. It seems like they just knew they were like subconsciously bringing it back. Like and we didn't know why we were getting like re-addicted to this thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm totally here for it though.
Yeah, definitely. So in your rewatch, since hopefully it's a little fresher, but do you have any favorite episodes, favorite moments that you liked?
I do like, well, you know, it's funny because like after watching and like getting to know like all the guardians and even how it kind of ties into like different like zodiac signs and different energies, different types of girls and things like that. And of course Sailor Moon, she's, you know, she's the main character, you know, she's the front girl, but I feel like I really got into Neptune and Uranus, like in their whole like relationship and dynamic and energy. And I thought it was funny because then I later realized Uranus, in a sense, she represents like the sign Aquarius, and I'm an Aquarius. And I thought that was funny because I didn't realize that when I was first watching it. And then I was like, oh, because she just gives me just this super cool bad bitch energy. Like even though it's you know, it's very androgyne, but it's still, I don't know. She was just so cool. I don't know. It was her and the dynamic between her and Sailor Neptune. I thought they were just like, when they came into the whole fold in the story, like that's when I really got like excited.
Yeah, they definitely add a really cool element. I think, like you said, they're just really cool. It's like I've referenced them sometimes as like the big cousins who like come in and it's like, oh, like I want to hang out with them, and like, you know, and yeah, the cool thing about Sailor Moon too is a lot of the characters, like you mentioned, you know, Uranus, her birthday, you know, in the show is actually January 27th, and she is an Aquarius.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and I realized that later on, and I thought that was so cool because like there are moments where she reminds me of myself in the sense of like she looks at the bigger picture of things and like kind of almost disregards people's feelings sometimes because she's looking at like the greater good. And sometimes like my friends will call me like cold-blooded because I'm always focusing on like that doesn't matter. It's like what's really important, you know? And so it was like it'd be there were certain moments in the series where I would kind of see that in her, and it would remind me of myself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I think that's the really cool thing about Sailor Moon too is you can always find a character that you can kind of relate to. And yeah, that's my fault. I thought you were saying that just Uranus, the planet, represents Aquarius. But yeah,
Well,
either
it
way.
is funny. It is one of the it is one of our planets, or one of the ruling planets of the sign of Aquarius. Like I mean, I'm familiar with like astrology. I'm not an astrologist, but I do know like that Aquarius is one of the, and because excuse me, Uranus is one of the planets associated with Aquarius, because I'm an Aquarius, and when I would look it up, I always thought that was weird, and I was like, oh man, like that's my planet, like oh,
I know. I was like, why couldn't it be Neptune or
yeah, something
Saturn?
cool.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. That's so funny. Actually, I don't know what my planet is. I have to look that up. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know astrology much either. So I didn't know that either. It's really cool. Like the creator really made so many things intentionally.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
this character is gonna like be ruled by this, you know, zodiac sign and like or this, you know, planet and
Yeah, it's like a
their
certain energy.
personality.
Even with Sailor Moon, I mean her planet, I mean obviously is the moon, and
Mm-hmm.
that is the planet associated with the sign of Cancer, and she's a Cancer, which she's very like you know, she's very sensitive, she's very emotional, but like passionate, you know, like she feels how she feels, and you know, she's very like just loving and all those things. And I think yeah, the creator, she really did go off and just kind of like create like giving each character like keeping them true to their birthdays and their zodiac signs. I mean, I understand that's a very like that's more common in like Japanese culture, things like that. And I think that was just really cool how she incorporated that. Like Sailor Moon, she's a Cancer, so you know our planet is the moon. Sailor Mars is you know what I mean, Aries. Mm-hmm. Right, and it's because they're associated with the planet Mars, and so on and so forth. So I just thought all of that was like really, really cool and interesting, and it gives every girl, every person kind of like someone to identify with. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I completely agree. I just looked it up too. I'm a Taurus. My ruling planet is Venus, which I did not know. So I'm really excited about that.
There you go. Okay, Sailor Venus.
Yeah, it's funny because I love Sailor Moon. She's my favorite, but I always like feel some affinity for Sailor Venus because she's like Sailor V, and my name is Victoria, so I feel like I'll like call myself Sailor V sometimes. I'm like, oh, like Venus, but yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. See, there you go.
Yeah, all full circle. I think you might have answered this, but just in case you didn't, do you have a favorite Sailor Scout / Senshi?
Well, I guess my favorite is Sailor Uranus, but I really am a fan of Sailor Mars. I love Sailor Mars. Like I feel like Sailor Mars was my first favorite until I met Sailor Uranus. So if we were to put it that way.
That's fair. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, there are a lot of people come on the show too who have like multiple favorites. I mean, you can have more than one.
Yeah.
Fine too.
Yeah, but those are, I would say, like, those are my top two. And Neptune, I would say next because she's just so fly.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I said that on last week's episode actually, because I was just like, she's just so cool. I'm like, I want to be like her. Like, she just like shows up as like the ultimate cool girl and just like,
yeah,
she's really fly.
Yeah, and she's a Pisces, and I know a lot of like Pisces women who are like such fashionistas, and they're so influential and stuff. I mean, come on, Rihanna's a Pisces, so like yeah. So it's she just has such a cool chick vibe. It's like really, really dope. So I would say, if anything, those are my top three.
That makes sense. And why Mars?
Because I feel like she just has that like blunt, like I don't take no crap, like just kind of energy. And she doesn't take like the whining bullshit from like Usagi. Like she's just like, whatever, like shut up, stop crying. Like, and it's like, it's just funny to me.
Yeah, no, she definitely like will not let her just like, she's like, you're gonna have to step it up, like get it together. You're the leader. Like no crying on the job.
Yeah. Or like, oh my god, she's flaking again to just go out there and just twiddle her thumbs meanwhile we're out here kicking butt. Like, you know, it's just like, it's just funny. Like she just has this very like big sister energy, like get it together. Like so yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I like her. I like her vibe and her fiery self. It's cute.
Yeah, I completely agree. Sailor Mars is pretty great. However, you have a song named Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Could be, I guess it could totally like relate to all the Senshi.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, what was the inspiration behind that song? I love it. It's so catchy. It's just really cool.
Well, thank you. Yeah. So that really came about. I was back in another one of my Sailor Moon binges, and I was just watching a lot of Sailor Moon. And my producers that I work with, they go by the name of Aura. So there are two guys, Dante Carter and Chad Paul. They're really, really dope producers. But anyway, so they had sent me they had sent me a beat, well, the beat that Sailor Moon is on, and it sounded like everything I was watching in my mind, like, because I was just watching a whole bunch of Sailor Moon, and I was like, oh, this sounds like Sailor Moon to me. And so I just immediately like went into it with that in mind, and I just put myself in, like, when I was writing the lyrics, I just put myself in the shoes of Usagi, and when she's like totally gushing over Tuxedo Mask, and she has like such this crush on him, and it's like, oh my gosh, like I can't even, I like, you know, we love Sailor Moon, so we've seen it, and we see how she just freaks out and totally just gushes over him, and like can't even, like, I can't deal, like, and just that whole like vibe. And so I really just kind of built the song around that feeling, and that feeling of having this super crush on somebody and just feeling like a little girl, like, because I feel like so much in music, you know what I mean, sometimes it becomes so aggressive and so direct and vulgar that it's like that innocence of just having a crush on somebody almost gets forgotten. Like, we're automatically like trying to like get in the bedroom with somebody. Like, I remember like freaking out because I just liked somebody, and I kind of wanted to just bring that energy back, and that innocence almost of like how Usagi is just like just gushing over somebody. So that's really how the song came about. And I just used every Sailor Moon like reference or metaphor that I could to kind of like just execute that feeling and make it clear, you know, at least for anyone who understood Sailor Moon, because there are people who don't know what Sailor Moon is and they hear the song, they're like, okay, well, it's a cute song. Like, so yeah, but that's it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the vibe I get. Like that, it's so true. Like just that feeling of crushing on somebody. It's so like pure and just like intense, but so like, oh, I can totally see myself like singing like, I'll be your Sailor Moon. Like, what's up? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's cute because it's like they almost end up like saving each other like throughout the series. Like, you know, first he's like, you know, he's always saving her butt, and then he'll, you know, she'll be saving his butt and whatever. But you know, like that's, you know, I guess that's love, right? You know, like you save me and I'll save you, and you know, we could do this together. Like it's just that whole kind of feeling.
It's true love.
Yeah.
It's meant to be. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah, I feel like I've probably missed a few of the Easter eggs in here, but like I remember like you said like Loki in a mask and like obviously like in the name of the moon, and there was like a little crazy there fighting trying to save me, and I was like, okay, I like it.
Right. And I ain't afraid of demons no more, all this stuff, because they was always fighting demons and whatever. So it's like, I ain't scared. I'm gonna do this because I love you, just like Usagi would do, like, cause I love him. And I don't know why. I don't know why I love him, but I love him. So
Yeah, definitely. And then how did it feel seeing Keke Palmer singing your song on her Instagram? That was really cool.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like, I just, you know, like a regular old day, and then someone tagged me. You know, and that's cool too, because like now I actually have fans, like people like who I don't know, like that listen to my stuff and all that. So it was another, you know, person I don't know that just tagged me in this video that she had posted of her just grooving to my song, and I was just like, get out of here, like, no, this is not happening, like, this is not, she is not. And then as I'm watching it and she's really singing the words, and I'm like, I know she is not singing the words, she know the words, like, how many times she heard this song? Like, I was just like, I was bugging out. Like, that was such a pleasant surprise, honestly. I don't know how else to describe it. It was crazy. It's one of those moments it still kind of feels like, did that even happen? Like, nah.
Yeah, I mean, thank God for like video evidence. It's like I can go back and watch this.
Right.
It's real.
Yeah, and she did it again. Like, it was like in one of her slides in a post or something, and it was her and a friend of hers, and they were jamming to the song. I'm gonna end up posting it at some point as well, but I screen recorded that too. Like, let me get this before this doesn't exist anymore, God forbid. Yeah, but it's really cool. It's really cool to see. I mean, I don't know how she or where she found my song, or how she came across it. I have no idea. But and she did DM me though and say that she was just obsessed with my music, and that was like, wow, okay, cool. I was trying not to geek out too much, you know, but yeah, it's just one of those things, like, you know, I don't know how she found it, but wow, like, just to see, you know, people enjoying it and just enjoying it for the song, like, you know what I mean? It has nothing to do with, you know, clout or numbers or cosigns or anything. It's really just like, either the song came across her or she came across it and she just liked it. And that was, as an artist and someone who makes music, like, that was great. Like, that felt great because, you know, nobody knows who I am from a hole in the wall, at least yet. You know what I mean? People are getting to know me, so it was really nice. It was great.
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, it was really cool because she like was singing along to the lyrics, so you knew it wasn't just like, oh, I'm just gonna put this on and jam to it. And like you don't know if she's heard it before or has heard it before. It's like no, she's listening to this song at least a few times because she knows the lyrics, and
Yeah.
it's cool that she DM'd you too. That's so dope.
Yeah, no, it was really nice. Like I'm so flattered and like and thankful. Like um it's yeah. I mean I really don't even know what to say. It's really crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and like I said, I wanted you on the show before, and I'm really happy she did that too because she posted it, and I was like, let me reach out before like keep procrastinating. And like, there's so many people I want on the show, and it's just like I wish there were more weeks in a year because I'm like I can't get everybody all in one week. But,
Yeah.
yeah, but that was a really nice reminder for me. And then I was like, I wonder if she's a Sailor Moon fan, but I don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
You think so?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think I mean, she's like she's roughly in the same age group that I'm in. So I know like at least on a basic level, like, you know, it's part of our childhood, even, you know, in the slightest bit, you know, even if we didn't watch it heavy when we were little kids. It's like, you know what Sailor Moon is. You know what I mean? So, and you know, it's something familiar, and I think that also just adds to the nostalgia factor because I know my music, you know, a lot of people say it has this very like nostalgic, like old school R&B feel, and I feel like that mixed with Sailor Moon and that being a 90s throwback anime, it just kind of fused that feeling together, and I feel like it speaks to just that time and that feeling, and I think she identified with that. Like, I think that's why she liked it.
Yeah, I think I could totally agree with that. I think you're right. As I'm hoping, yeah, hopefully get her on Posse Outfits. But yeah, I saw it and I was just like, oh my god, is Kiki a Sailor Moon fan? So I think you're right because I'm also in the same age group and I'm 30. Um, and so I was just like, she's in the right age range, you know, like that's
Yeah.
around the time like it was like on Toonami, like it's when you were younger, so you might have caught it. So I was like, maybe. But what do you think her favorite Sailor Scout would be?
Her favorite Sailor Scout? I feel like Jupiter.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
agree?
I agree. Yeah. I wasn't sure, honestly, when I asked the question. I was like, what would it be? And you said it and I was like, that's it. It's definitely
Right?
her. Yeah.
I feel like that sounds like her. Like, that sounds like it's like, yeah, I feel like that would be right up her alley. Definitely.
Yeah. She has like a toughness, but she's also like a sweetheart, it seems. So
Yeah, and and just a drive, like to just go and just do.
yeah. And I feel like Jupiter is like the unofficial black girl fave sometimes too.
Oh
So
yeah, because she has a black girl energy. Like,
right.
yeah, I mean, you just have to kind of go with what the energies are at this point, you know, like you just have to kind of read between the lines.
Yeah. It's like, all right, who's the most black like? It's
Yeah,
funny actually, because when they originally tried to make it a kind of like Power Rangers when it was like half animated, half live action when they brought it over
yeah.
to the United States, and Jupiter was actually going to be a black girl, and I was
Oh
like, that would have
wow.
been so cool. Yeah,
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. That's nuts. Because like I know they had a live action version like in Japan. Like there was that one, and it was like right made by the same creators of Power Rangers and all that stuff. But I didn't know like when they were thinking of bringing it to America that they were going to do that. I mean, that's fire. And also, highly unfortunate that they didn't do that.
I know. I think about that. I'm like, man, if I had like a black Sailor Scout growing up, like that would have blew my mind. And I think Sailor Mars was Latina, and Sailor Moon was white.
Yeah.
And I forgot. I think Sailor Mercury was maybe still Asian. I can't remember exactly, uh,
Right.
but
They
yeah,
would have. You know what? And unfortunately, I see they would have made her the smart one because you know.
right.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing back then. They were being weird.
Stereotypes. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think and it's funny because when in the Sailor Moon video, like I ended up playing all the Sailor Guardians, but really only because I was filming everything by myself, like during quarantine, and I really only had myself like to work with. So it was unfortunate because I wanted to have like other girls, like just have different girls of color play the other Sailor Guardians, but it was just like one of those things where we were still in lockdown and it was like all this like nonsense, whatever. And so I kind of just had to like do it myself and like play all the parts. But in my heart, and if I should ever get a chance to do something like that again, like I would definitely want to incorporate like other girls and like make it as diverse as possible.
That would be super cool, and I hope you get the chance to do that, 'cause that sounds fun.
Yeah, hell yeah. Because we've seen it done the other way already. So
Yeah.
let's do it a new way. I even felt that way when they relaunched the new one. And I mean, I understand it's still an anime and all that stuff, but it would have been nice and refreshing to see them kind of, jazz it up a little bit, but I think that's where we as a community of color have to just kind of creatively just do our own things. And I see a lot of it happening and I'm loving it. Like, especially with this Sailor Moon stuff. I mean, there's so much new Sailor Moon, like fan art that's like blows my mind like all the time.
Same. Yeah. That makes me really happy seeing like fans making, them different ethnicities and kind of seeing like them reimagined. And for me, especially, like I love seeing like Black versions of Sailor Moon because I love the character so much. So it's nice to see her, but in a way that looks like me.
Yeah. I love it. I absolutely do. And that, I think it was cool because when I first put out the song, like before the video and everything, when I just put out the song, like a lot of that art and the whole like Sailor Moon redraw thing, it all kind of happened at the same time. And I remember now I put it out and they were like, yo, now everybody's like redrawing Sailor Moon. Like, that's so crazy. Like, you just put out a Sailor Moon song. Now everybody's like redrawing it. And I thought that was so fire because just like you said, you love seeing Sailor Moon look like you. And then there was an artist. I did post it on my Instagram, but there was an artist that made Sailor Moon look like me. And it was like just the way they drew it. And the girl looked just like me. And I was like, wow, that looks like me. Like, so yeah, it's definitely an exciting time. Definitely.
Yeah. I looked out too with that because I relaunched a podcast like shortly before that happened too, and I was just like, oh my god, people are drawing Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
So it's really cool when things line up like that.
Yeah.
If you were to create another song based on an anime or anime character, which would you choose?
So, so I feel like as far as other animes, the only other one that I really got into was Death Note. And I know that's like totally different from like Sailor Moon.
Totally fine. Yeah. My second anime that I got into after Sailor Moon was Claymore. Also completely different. It's like super gory and like ridiculous. But yeah, I love Death Note though. That's such a good show.
Yeah, it was so good. And it really pulled me in. And I guess if I was to base anything else off another anime, I mean, I would only want to base it off an anime I'm familiar with. So I guess it would have to be like Death Note for now until I get into something else. I've tried a couple others, but they didn't really like grab me the same way that like Sailor Moon did or that Death Note did. But Death Note really, it's cool. Like if I was to even like write a song, even considering that concept, I mean, it's a very deep concept. So, I don't know, it'd be a very dark song, I guess.
Yeah, I think, it'd probably have to be.
Yeah.
But it'd be a good song. I feel like there's definitely a lot there for sure.
Oh, yeah. And it would be very like mind gamey type song. Like, ooh, mind games and ooh, are you gonna catch me? And, spirit ghost demon people and like, I don't know. Yeah.
Actually, now I'm thinking about it, I feel like I would love to hear like you and like a Rico Nasty on like a song for that.
Oh, I would love to work with Rico Nasty. I would love. So actually, yeah, that's really, really cool. So now if that ever happens and we happen to use this as a subject for our song, I'm gonna have to credit you.
Oh, yay! I'll be happy with just like a cameo or something.
Oh, got you.
Yeah. I'll just go back to this episode. Like, we talked about it.
That's right. Right.
That would be so cool, though. It would be super, super cool. What else do you stand? I mean, we talked about a few different things, but do you And this can be anything. Like, I also stand Beyonce, and I love Boy Meets World. And I don't even know what else.
I stand Joseline Hernandez.
Ooh, yes.
I stand that lady. Oh my god, I stand her so much. Like, so much. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do with her in the future, but I want to do something. I just want to meet her so bad. And it's, oh my gosh, she's just a mood. I stand her. I stand her. I stand her, and I stand Judge Judy. That's what.
Listen, Judge Judy, for sure. Like, she is just a queen, and she deserves everything.
Yeah. Yeah, she's over here like, she's telling you, like, you ate the steak. Don't talk about bringing. You want to return the steak. You don't want to pay for the steak, but you ate the steak. That's it. You got to pay for it. You ate the steak.
Yeah, she be telling you off like, "Hey, you need to own up to your mistakes, because you ain't gonna BS me."
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love women like that. So I guess that's why I also stand Joseline, because she just has this attitude, like, you're just not gonna get over on me, and I just love it. And it's just over the top. I don't know. I love women like that. They're just so over the top and just so extra. I love it.
Yeah. It makes sense. You were talking about Sailor Mars earlier, even Sailor Uranus to a degree. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's kind of similar too.
yeah. It's that, like, I'm not gonna take shit, and also look at the bigger picture. What's right, what's wrong, and everything else. Shut up.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Do you have any advice for someone who maybe want to become an artist and have like great songs?
I would say be true to yourself, and by that I mean speak in your own language. Like, say, like, if you're writing lyrics, you're writing songs, say them how you would speak. Be true to yourself. Don't don't worry about don't worry about anything else that anybody else is making. Don't worry about what's hot right now. Don't worry about any of that. If you're getting into making music, make the music that you want to hear. That's what I would say. Make the music that you want to hear, because you know what I mean. Like, that's I don't know. That's what I do. I make the music that I want to hear, and the music that I feel like doesn't exist and that needs to exist, and that's how I do it. So yeah.
I think that's great advice, because I feel like one, like, catching up with trends is like impossible, because by the time you create the song, the trend is probably gonna be past.
Yeah.
And like, you're probably not the only person who wants to hear the kind of songs you want to create. I'm like, if you're like, oh, the world is missing this song, like, there's at least thousands of other people who are going to feel the same. Like, yeah, the world is missing like that kind of song or that kind of vibe right now. And like you said, like before with the Sailor Moon, like, something that's a little less overt. That's just like, oh, I have a crush on you, and like a little like innocent and sweet and like cute, and it clearly is resonating with people. Like, and we can have like, I think there's room for both for sure. Like, I love WAP, love WAP.
Yeah.
But like, and I love Sailor Moon, and it's like there's room for both.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree with you. Like, I love WAP as well. Like, Cardi B is like, I love these very, very spicy women. I love them. I love them so much. But I do kind of want to add just a balance to what is coming out of music. You know what I mean? And not saying that I'm not going to have moments where I may talk a little spicy. You know what I mean? But I just don't want to do that in everything that I do. Because I remember growing up, and you had to be like witty, and you had to be like creative with your lyrics in expressing things like that, because you couldn't be so direct. So you had to kind of almost be poetic with how you said certain things. And I like that. And it's not a thing of to shame anyone who is more direct and just, outright says whatever they're going to say. But for me, I just enjoy the art of, speaking, almost in code in lyrics and stuff like that, and how that can be fun and creative. And also, it reaches more people in that way, because I mean, WAP is a great hit, and it went everywhere. However, it's, what I mean, it's almost limited to who can listen to it, or what age group, or whatever can can hear that as an adult song, So I am happy that I was able to make something that, when they ask me, they're like, "Oh, do you have the clean version?" And I'm like, "It is the clean version. Like, the song is clean." And they're like, "Oh, okay." Like, so I'm glad I was able to do that and make a song that people really, really like. And there's like not one bad word in it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely rare for sure. I think.
Yeah.
That's so funny. They're probably like, "Oh, we haven't had this in a while. Like, this is a clean version. There's only one version." That's awesome.
Yeah. Like they almost felt like they had heard like curse words in it or something, just because they liked it and they're so used to, right? Like everything was just, it's just filthy nowadays. So, so I'm definitely glad that, I can do that, from time to time. Not saying that I'm going to be a squeaky clean angel every second of the day, but, whatever.
Yeah, you got variety. You can go back and forth. Like,
Yeah.
even, I'm thinking like Janae Aiko. I feel like she can get like dirty, but also like chill and smooth, like it's same vibe. But yeah, I feel like you can do anything.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be limited creatively, but I also, I don't want to be a potty mouth all the time.
Yeah, you get different. Like, it's the same with me. Like sometimes I want to listen to WAP, sometimes I want to listen to Sailor Moon, and it's just a different vibe. Yeah. And then just like Sailor Moon had her, Sailor Moon says phrase at the end of every episode. What would your phrase be? So Sailor LAYA says.
Sailor LAYA says, "Make it work." And she says, "Make it work," because you got to make it work. You got to make it work with whatever you got. Whatever you got. Don't let anything stop you. Don't let lack of a budget stop you. Don't let the lack of help or how many people are helping you stop you. Don't let anything get in your way. For example, the song for Sailor Moon, any one of my songs, I record everything in my house. I record everything in my bedroom. I mix everything myself. The videos from Sailor Moon to the last 2 videos that I put out, I recorded in my house and edited myself. I shot it on my iPhone. Like, I don't even have a camera. So make it work and just make it work. Take whatever it is that you have and make it work. And that's what Sailor LAYA says.
I love that. It's so true. Like, just, yeah, like I said, make it work. Like, you have all the tools you need. You just got to get creative sometimes.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And don't let anything stop you or get in your way. Don't ever doubt yourself. If it works for you, if it's a cool idea and you think it's fire, you think it's a hot idea, then do it. Like, don't question it. Just go ahead and do it. Because, when you see, if you don't do it, the universe is going to give that idea to somebody else. And then when you see them do it, then you're going to be tight.
Yeah, been there.
Yeah.
Totally. And then what is next for you and where can people find you?
Well, what's next for me, there will be some new music and even maybe some remixes maybe coming through. But I don't want to say too much because I can't really say too much just yet. But there is stuff coming, so please stay tuned. And you can stay tuned with me at LAYA Face. So that's LAYA Face. And it's LAYA Face on everything. So Instagram, Twitter, everywhere, like LAYA Face. And I mostly use Instagram. So if you really want to stay up on like what I'm doing, Instagram will probably be your best bet. But I'm everywhere. And my music's out there. So, don't be shy. Go ahead and treat yourself to some of my music. And yeah.
I love that transition. It's like, and here's where you can keep up to date with me. Great. And yeah, I'm Victoria L. Johnson, host of the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast. And you can find me at Miss Old School on Twitter and Instagram. That's Old School with a K. And you can find the podcast at Moonies Club on Twitter and Moonies_Club on Instagram. And we have merch at mooniesclub.com if you're interested. And of course, if you want to leave us a 5-star review, or give me 5 stars and a review on Apple Podcasts, would really appreciate it. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening, Moonies.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Love you guys.